Namaste everyone and welcome to our continuous study of Patanjali YogSutra. We are doing the third chapter, which is Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti meaning thereby special powers the yogi gets because of these serious and hard work that the yogi is doing of going through the 8 steps of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. And these vibhutis or special abilities are divided into two groups. One is Bahiranga and Antaranga. Bahiranga means vibhutis which we get because of the first 5 steps, the Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahar. And the last three, that is Antaranga, which is Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. That gives you special powers and special abilities to do it. But at the same time, we have to remember this is not for part-time yogis or once in a while yogi. This is for people who have spent almost their whole life very seriously. They take, as they develop these kind of powers, not just regular people who are interested a little bit in yoga, we cannot. So, but it is important to know that these are the things which can happen. So today we are going to continue our various vibhutis starting from sutra number 20 of Vibhuti Yoga. After 316, means the 16th verse of the third chapter, all are vibhutis. No? So we are going to start today from 21st. And the 21st verse says, I've sent you the link so you can follow that. So the Kaya Rupa Sanyamat, Tadgrahya Sakti Stambhe, Chaksu Prakasa Asamprayoga Antardhanam. So there are 10 words. No, it's a long sutra. So there are 10 words. This explains a power of a yogi to become invisible to others at his will. So Antardham means he is not visible to other people. That power yogi gets. When is so how that power develops and what is the reason? So it says we will go one by word by word. That it says Kaya Rupa Sanyamat. Kaya means body, Rupa means our figure, Kaya Rupa Sanyamat means using all three, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. It is three together is called Sanyama. Using these three powers or these three different ways of getting to very high knowledge, that is together it is known as Sanyama. So Kaya Rupa Sanyamat, when you do three together and focus on your body and your figure. We are all visible because we have our own existence. So that is a figure. So that is a Brahman has no figure. When Brahman gets manifest, that is Sakara. So Sakara Anrutam Vindi. So that Sakar, we are all called Sakar. Everything in the universe is Sakar and Nirakar is God. So we have our own figure. Dog has its own figure. A tiger has its own figure. So that figure. So Kaya Rupa Sanyamat Tad Grahya Sakti Stambhe. To stop that power of taking that figure in our consciousness, so that is a tad grahya, means to be able to take that figure in our retina or in our consciousness, sakti stambhe. What happens? Chaksu prakasa asam prayoga means I am blocking the vision of the seer. Chaksu prakasa asamprayoga means I am disconnecting. Asamprayoga antardhana. So the yogi becomes invisible by his own power of controlling his body and figure, whole figure, so that the light which reflects on an object does not go on the retina of seer. So it is like I turn off the light in this room, you won't see me. That is very simple for us to understand. So similarly, the yogi has the capacity to stop the light from reflecting from his body. So yogi stops that, and because he is not reflecting the light from his body, he is invisible. So that is called antardhana. So the very advanced yogis have this power. So that is what these vibhuti tells us now. So, but these vibhutis are not to be used for personal gain or for selfish gain. And these vibhutis are the byproducts of your intense effort on controlling the dharana, dhyan, samadhi. The real goal, original goal, only one goal is to go to nirbis samadhi. These are the powers that come by the way, and Maharishi Patanjali and all the yogis they advise not to get entangled with that. Even if you use that power, that has to be for the universal good or for larger good, not for your personal benefit. That I become invisible and I do the stealing here, no, not that kind of power. So, so that is called Kaya Rupa. That is the first sutra. The same thing he can do to block his voice, his sound, his smell, his everything else. So all the things the yogi can block, so that not only is not visible, you can't hear him, you can't touch him, you can't smell him, no? Even if he's in the room and in the middle of it. So he can block all these tanmatras. So that is Sutra number 21st and 22nd tells that. So that is the first sutra. So then second verse, that is the 23rd verse. So this is one ability to become invisible. Second one is, so this is sopkrama, nirupkrama, sa upkrama, sopkrama, sa upkrama, nirupkrama cha तत्संयमाद अपरांत ज्ञान अरिष्टेभ्यो सौक्रम means the karmas which have become manifest in these life and we are going through day by day, the circumstances are thrown at us by Prakriti, be fitting my karma and the outcome that those circumstances give it to. Say tomorrow there is a fire in my house, God forbid. So my karma was waiting for me to be punished. So that circumstance will come and will punish and then it will stop. Not everybody is going through the same thing. So everybody has different. So that those are called manifest karma in this life, or which is called prarabdha karma. Means the lot of karma, I mean one lot of karmas are given in this life to finish. And the sanchit karmas are unmanifest karmas pending there. Yogi gets a special power to see how many karmas he has already finished and done with, and how many are waiting for him in this life.
वो बंद कर दो बेशक अपनी
So by that ability, yogi can figure out how long he has to live in this world and what is his date of departure from here. Got it? So yogi can know, predict by date, hour, and even minute of his death. So that is the sutra number 23rd. That ability to know what is his lifespan, how long he will stay, and he can do the same thing for somebody else also. So it is says, sa upkrama, nir upkrama, च कर्म तत्संयमाद अपरांत. Aparant means knowledge about death. Gnanam aristibhyo. Aristibhyo means the impending omen of oncoming death. Means the signs of death, that the death is very near. Yogi can get it. So that is called aparistibhyo. So that is a knowledge or ability a yogi gets it. And like I first mentioned, that this is not for ordinary people who just gets interested and does it for a year or two. These are for people who have given their life and they are absorbed in it, like Swami Vivekananda, like Ramana Maharshi, Bhagavan Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. All these big yogis who have spent their whole life in search of divinity, in search of Atman, and have used their intellectual and capacity of the mind to realize divinity. Those are the yogis who get intuition about it, who can predict it, and they can sit down and they can leave the body at will. So not for ordinary people like us. So there are few signs also they know, which are the signs of impending death or nearby death. And there are three signs they have described, that when you close your ears and by with your fingers and press them, there is a continuous hum you can hear when we are alive and we have a longevity left. When those sounds starts fading, that is the first sign that imminent death is nearby. Other thing is that the yogi sees his own relatives and parents who have passed, and those figures come to his screen of mind. So that is the second one. And third sign is the disorder of constellation in the of stars and moon. So that is another. So these are three signs which are described, which indicates the death nearby. These thing yogis can predict and know. It's like a like you order Uber and Uber is coming and Uber is near so 5 minutes away, 3 minutes away. That technology, if somebody told us 5 years ago, we would not believe. "Ah, what are you talking? No?" But now it's a universally accepted technology and we all use it. So these masters, they were very powerful and they knew about it. So that is a meaning of the 23rd verse. So, they can predict death, they can leave body at their will also. So the next ability we get is the sutra number 24, which says Metri Yadi Su Balani. Only three words. Metri Adisu Balani means like friendship and is compassion and other things. So remember that there was a verse that we did how to deal with the people in the world. So there were three things recommended by Patanjali, Maharishi Patanjali, that comes in 33rd verse of the first chapter, which says Maitri Karuna Mudita. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, and Upeksha. These are four things by which we should interact with other people. So these Maitri or friendliness or a feeling of compassion, or Mudita means being happy about somebody else's progress. These virtues, the Swami or yogis, they develop these faculties to very great extent, and that's why These great masters can attract countless devotees, hundreds and thousands of devotees are attracted towards them. They have a feeling for their devotees, and they have a particular charisma by which they attract multitude of people. So that power yogi gets. Like Mahatma Gandhi, Dalai Lama, Pandurang Shastri Athavale, recent one, and great yogis like this, you will wonder how come he has so many hundreds of thousands and millions of followers. Because of this power that they develop of friendliness, compassion, and being a well-wisher of everything in the and everyone in the universe. These power others feel and they get attracted. So, like we know Baba Bhave, Gandhiji, all these great masters, Martin Luther King, recently we have MLK's birth Jayanti we saw. So, these kind of unique people, they are not every corner, but there are such people who have this capacity and these qualities which are manifest. So Maitri Adi means all the remaining three. So Maitri means friendliness, and the other three virtues. This power, Balani means this power yogi gets. So the ones, so the efforts are not futile. See, the efforts of a yogi will bring all these goodies to him. But yogi's mind is in realizing Atman. So if he uses this power, this charisma to fool people, then he falls from his status of yoga drastically and lands up in jail. So that kind of so this is not to be used for personal gain, but for the welfare of the society. It's like Dadaji Pandurang Sastri Athavale, whom I knew very personally. Such a great master from the young age of 20s, he till the end, he only thing he did was to deliver lectures, doing the good to people, motivating people, giving them hundreds of projects and improving the life of hundreds and thousands and millions of people by Swadhyaya movement. So that kind of power yogi gets. That's what it is. Maitri Adi Subalani. The next one is such a powerful yogi can, these are all intellectual powers. Now we are talking about physical power. So that verse number 25 says, Balesu Hasti Balani. Hasti means elephant. Balani means power of elephant, means the energy and power and might of a majestic animal like elephant, horse, tiger. That extraordinary physical power yogi can acquire and gets it. So Balesu Hasti Baladini means bal means strength. Hasti means elephant. Bal means power. And so focus on power of elephant or a might of elephant. Once you put your mind, Sudharna, Dhyan, Samadhi, those who want to go and acquire that kind of physical strength, they can have that strength. So the human possibility, like we all always read that, okay, mind is so powerful, it has a tremendous reserve. We are not even using 10%. We have like say, yes, yes, sir, yes. What is that 90%? That's what we are talking. So that power which we are not aware about, for which we have doubts and suspicion, and our intellect cannot grasp, that power is being described here. And this is in real life. There is no doubt about it. I saw one of the movies you might have seen that which was about Milkha Singh, no? Where it says Bhag Milkha Bhag means run Milkha Singh, run, run. the way he was training himself, he was in army. He was training was to keep an Alsatian dog with him, and as fast as the dog ran, he wanted to acquire that strength. And doing that day and night ceaselessly became the fastest runner in the world. So that is the way these great people, not everybody is yogi and interested only in realizing soul, but this power of mind can be tapped to do impossible things. We see it. Olympic is full of these kind of people. They have used their power of mind to work for something against all the odds. There are hundreds of people who are participating in Olympic, and the chances that they will get is very small. But still, they are bent upon doing it, and they tap into the reserve of the brain and physical abilities. So that is what is being described here. But like I said, for real yogis, not for hybrid people, no, that okay, I want these also, I want that also. Then you don't have ekagra mind. Ekagra mind means only this, nothing else, and you get it. So that is being described. The next one is this sutra is 26. So which says pravruttaya lokan न्यासात सूक्ष्म व्यवहित विपकृष्ट ज्ञानम word by word. Pravrutyaaloka means illumination or ability to know the power of our mind and directing that power, one can become unmanifest himself and at the same time can see the things which are very subtle, which are hidden and which are distant. These knowledge, see, like you must have heard stories many times that powerful yogis, they have that ability and they'll say, Dr. Chokshi, go and dig here, you will find tons of money there. And it turns out to be true. No? So their ability to see hidden treasure, their ability to see very subtle, means subatomic and atomic things like great physicists and great inventors. We can't understand atom and subatoms, but that capacity to grasp that, yogi can tap into it. So very subtle, very hidden, very distant. So there are yogis who would say, okay, go to such this mountain and there is a tree and under that you just explore and you will get plenty of treasure and use it for good cause. So that power yogi gets. So that is what that verse number 36 says. Sukshma means subtle, Vyavahita means hidden, and Viprakrust means far away. So these three things which are not accessible to us is accessible to great yogis. But they are not going to go and make you rich, or that is for selfish motive for themselves as well as somebody else's selfish motive. But for the good of the society, they might do it. No? But their own instruction from scriptures is that no, don't get distracted for these powers that you will get or you can get because you have concentrated and mastered the mind. So dharana, dhyan, samadhi, all three works on mind, and all three you are putting on one goal, and you are able to get it. And yogi has done for not for 1 or 2 years, for lifetime. No? So long time. So that they have this special talent. So that was 26. 27th. Now we are not talking about the intellectual or mental power or abilities. We are talking about um, other powers that we can get. That verse number 27 says, Bhuvana Gnanam Surye Sanyama. Only four words. Bhuvana Gnanam Surye Sanyamat. Bhuvana means universe. Then Gnana means knowledge. Surya means sun. And Sanyamat means concentrating and focusing on sun. One can understand this universe. Because sun is at the center of the whole universe and everything, all planets and everything rotates around. So focusing mind, intellect on sun, one gets the idea about the extent of the universe and the functioning of the universe. That's what it says. So bhuvana gnanam surye sanyamat. By concentrating on sun, you will get the knowledge about the universe. So solar system, Milky Ways, and other things will become clearer to them. Next one, similarly, describes another vibhuti, which is Chandre Tara Vyuha Gnanam. Chandre means sun, Tara means stars, Chandre Tara Vyuham means arrangement, Gnana. By focusing on moon, you will get knowledge of the organization of stars and nakshatras. So there are 27 constellation of stars. So by concentrating on moon, which is the biggest star, so concentrating on moon, yogi, such a divine people, can get knowledge about the about the stars and their movement and their distance and how the things are working. So Chandre, Tara, Vyuha means arrangement or the way they are arranged. So with Sanyama, yogi can understand arrangement of stars, and this is the basis of astrology. People had worked very hard and have written extensively on astrology. But real people who can read these data and predict are very few. And here the personal gain and selfish motives destroys the science. If I use the science, medical science for selfish motive, I can be a active member of destruction of science. Why? Because selfish motive. Similarly, the people who use selfish motives, they can mess up astrology or they can mess up physics or medicine. Wherever the personal and gain or gain of a society or whatever comes, then personal gain comes, that can mess up the fund of knowledge or body of knowledge, may it be medical, may it be astrology or whatever it is. But the Munis, they studied these things for many, many years and have written extensively. So all those the astrology literature is based upon this. But one has to know it, one has to be able to read it, one has to be able to use it for the genuine cause, then it can be meaningful. But that's what it says. Chandre Tara Vyuha Gnanam. Chandre Tara Vyuha Gnanam. By focusing your mind on. That's what it is. All scientists also do it. For days and years, and they are on telescope and studying the things and trying to put and make sense. That's what it is. Next verse is Dhruve Tadgati Gnanam. Only three words. Dhruve Tadgati Gnanam. Dhruve means polar star or Dhruva. Star which is not moving is named after Dhruva. as it is, that is our North Pole, that star does not move. So meditating on that star, dhruve tad gati gnanam, it will give you knowledge of the movements of other stars, their distance and their direction. So polar star does not move at all or very little if at all. It says about 2 centimeter in 1,000 years. That much is the movement. So essentially stable. And this is one which has been used to guide the sea explorer for centuries. They can figure it out. This is the direction, this is the right direction. So dhruve tad gati gnanam. So that ability yogi gets. So the next ability is that we talked about the universal entities. Now we are talking about human body. So it says, verse number 30 says, Nabhi chakre kaya vyuha gnan. 5 words. Nabhi means navel. Chakre means that area, circular area. Nabhi chakre kaya is the body. Vyuha means arrangement of the organs inside. Gnanam. By focusing on the navel region, one can get the idea about the development of the internal organs, their current status, and their functioning. How? Navel, as we all know, that we in the intrauterine life we were hanging with that umbilical cord with our mother. Around that umbilical cord, which is connected to placenta, this cell, the bunch of cells, they develop in a circular fashion in a smaller mass, 2 cells to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, and the embryo develops day by day by day by day by months, and the human body is formed. That's why navel is very, very important. So umbilical cord, where it is attached, that navel, it's called navel chakra or circular because the cells develop in a circular pattern inside, and that can give the idea about the functioning of the organs, the status of the organs, and how they develop. So Nabhi chakra kaya view means bodily arrangement. You can get the knowledge of that. So so next one is Kant kupe pipasa nivrutti. Another ability. The kant means throat. Kupe means there is a pit there. Kant kupe suti pipasa nivrutti means focusing, meditating on the pit here at the throat, one can control the sensation of thirst and hunger. That's why these yogis, they go in samadhi and for 3 days they won't move. They won't feel the weather around them. So that ability if we don't get water for 3 hours, we will be we have a dry mouth. But these yogis have conquered their body and their physiology by immense concentration. So that's what it says. Kantha kupe kshuti. Kshuta means hunger. Pipasa means thirst. Nivrutti means no inclination for thirst or hunger. And Swami Sachidanand says these are not so difficult. You try yourself. If you are hungry, just get into concentration and focus at that pit, and your hunger will subside. So these are some of the easy ones for people to try so that they get convinced that this is not bogus, that this I'm giving time and energy to understand Ashtanga Yoga is not futile or a superstitious activity. So kantha kupe kshruti pipasa nivruti. Yogi can control his thirst. Normally, when the life energy touches that area, we feel thirsty or hungry. By concentrating there, means dharana, dhyan, samadhi in that area, you can control hunger and thirst. That's what it is. And that is true. There are many things like that, no? So that one thing I know that works, that say sometimes you feel like sneezing, no? And if you don't want to sneeze when you are in a conference or when you are on a dining table with others, so if you get that urge of sneezing, if you rub here just under on the upper lip under the nose, that sensation of sneezing goes away. I've tried it hundreds of times, so I know for sure that it works. I never want to sneeze it in front of others and or especially in dining table or conference, to disturb everybody. So if that urge comes, you just do it. So sometimes when I ask, oh, what happened to you? What happened to you? I never told her. Only today I'm telling her that. So good. These are the things which can work. So that is kantha kupe, shruti pipasa nivrutti. Next one is Kurma Nadaya Stherium. There is another nadi or the constellation of these powers in the area which is below the throat in the center of the chest of the shape of a tortoise. So that is called Kurma Nadi. Stherium. Concentrating and meditating on these, one gets the ability to remain steady like a rock. That's why these yogis they sit down and it is raining, it is raining, it is hot, it is dark, it is doesn't matter. They are immovable. They become because they have concentrated on this kind of human abilities and possibilities. So there is kurmanadiyam sthiriyam. So that way you can become very steady, not moving for hours, not for hours, for days. They say like a snake, if a snake is lying and living, it can stay in that posture for a long time. There is another reptile also. I don't know the English name of that. It's called patlago or such, which is a little bigger and has a shape of an alligator. That can stay steady for days together. Even if you go near and make noise or try to touch and disturb, it will not move. That way, yogi can become. So that is a kurma nadi yam sthiriyam. So steadiness comes. Next power that yogi can have and work on is murda jyotisi siddha darshanam. That there is a yogis feel that there is a light coming at the top of their head as you advance in this field and focusing on that light, they can see other siddhas, means other people's yogis of similar power. So Murti Jyotisi means flame or light. Siddha Darshanam, they will be able to see the cell. There are human beings, celestial beings, and Siddha. Siddha is in between. So this knowledge of these becomes available to yogi. So there is an orifice or aperture in the skull which is called Brahmarandra. So means there is a little hole from through which this consciousness can go out and makes a the yogi can feel it himself. It's like in the skull, now we studied that very intensely. There are small apertures through the nerve, which the nerves come out. But there are apertures through which consciousness comes out. That's what they are talking about. We know about the cranial nerves. It comes from such and such a aperture in the skull, and so forth. But the consciousness aperture is only known to yogis. So, Murda Jyotisi Siddha Darshanam. The next one is Pratibhad Va Sarvam. Just, just three words. Pratibha Va means or, Sarvam. All these extraordinary abilities described can be known to us only by Pratibha. Pratibha means enlightenment of the self. When you have the enlightenment, all these siddhiyas become easier and you can get it. So that is that enlightened soul you become by years of practice on all the 8 steps of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. First two are even 10 greatest virtues. Yam, Niyam, Dharana, Dhyan, Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. All these, doing it day in and day out for years together, of course you will get ability. If you do painting for a day and night, you become an excellent painter or artist or whatever you want to do, scientist. So the yogis wanted to explore this field and they did, and that's how these things are described. So pratibha means extraordinary abilities that you get because of your virtuous discipline, life, and efforts for years. That's called pratibha. So that is through a life of purity and virtues. So life of purity. See, the requirements are very stringent, so it is not for everyone. Pratibha. So there's a life of purity, virtues, and discipline. When you have that, you are gifted. God says that, no, I will light up the lamp. Last time I mentioned that I will light up the lamp of knowledge in you. When 10 requirements, no, before that. So next vibhuti or power is Hridaye Chitta Samvita. Only 3 words. Hridaye means heart, Chitta means consciousness, and Samvita means knowledge. By concentrating Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi on the area of the heart or heart chakra, one gets to know mind. Because mind and heart are connected. If you get a bad news on telephone, your heart starts palpitating. What's the connection? That's a connection. When you get your sweetheart or something whom you have not seen, suddenly your heart is palpitating in joy also. So heart is a center, and true knowledge and understanding is at the level of the heart, not at the mind. That's why we say, Mera dil nahi kehta hai. My heart says, don't do it. We don't say, my mind says, don't do it. When we ask sometimes, Dil se batao, means tell me what you really mean. Gut feeling, no? Whatever you. That profound understanding is related to heart chakra. So, Hridaye Chitta Samvita. So that is the beauty of studying this Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So you are aware about it, not that we are going to try this and waste time. Because even the yogi who gets God recommends that don't touch that. That is not that is a byproduct. You don't want to get it. you want the real things. You want to go for Kevalya. So that's why no, we are going to move faster to go to Kevalya. These knowledge is enough for us to know that these are some people have this power. That's it. So, so particular kind of knowledge and deep understanding that Mera dil kehta I don't want to do this business. There is no intellectual reasoning for that, but you don't want. So that profound knowledge, or the in nutshell, it resides in the heart area. Next one is is very important also. Sattva Purushayor अत्यंत असंकीर्णयो प्रत्यया अविशेषः. They are very difficult even to read, but if you look at the meaning carefully, what it says, sattva means mind, the consciousness. Sattva purusha means atma. Sattva purusha yor atyanta means extremely. Asankiranayo, they are different. Again, our Atman and our mind, they are entirely different. Knowing that, not knowing that, you get confused in the world and take whatever comes to your mind as if it's happening to you. That is called aviveka, means unable to separate out Purusha from Prakriti. This comes so many times, so that's why we have to repeat it. So Purusha means your Atman, Prakriti means your consciousness, everything else besides Atman is Prakriti. And so our mind, our intellect, our senses, though they are within the confine of our body and has in the same equipment, but they are separate. They belong to Prakriti. Means they are Prakriti means they are inert. They have no life on their own, and they are fleeting. They get power from the Atman. So knowing this difference between Prakriti and Purusha, you do not get confused, and concentrating on and using your mind to understand Purusha, you get to the Purusha. Understanding is gained by using the intellectual power, which is powered by Atman. You will get the knowledge of Atman. So that's what this whole sutra says. So essentially, they two are totally discordant. There is no similarity. But because of their close association and our existence, we started taking mind, intellect, and Atman as one entity. And that is the reason for our suffering or enjoyment and pain and going up and down. With the ability of a mind, when it is focused to try to understand Atman, one gets to Atman. That's what it is. Next one is Tata Pratibha. That's it. Only two words. Tata. After this, thence, Pratibha means spontaneous intuition. Sravana Vedana Adarso Aswada Varta Jayante. So from this knowledge, you develop superphysical qualities of hearing, touch, seeing, tasting, and smelling through spontaneous intuition. By knowing mind and Atman, you separate out these two, but the power of super consciousness for in seeing, tasting, hearing those faculties develop by concentrating on the availability of such thing. No? So that you tap into the different energies. Their energies are three kinds, different kinds. One is bodily power, second is emotional power, third is intellectual power, and fourth one is our power of the soul. And each one is superior to previous one. Emotional power is so powerful, it is more powerful than your bodily strength or intellectual strength. Example, your brother is sick, you don't have money, and the medicine is available 25 kilometers away. Because emotionally you are charged and feeling so much for your brother, you will go through hardship, you will walk, you will go, you will borrow money, and you will get that medicine. That is the emotional power. If that power is not there, you would not move from your bed. Oh, it's very difficult. No, it's at this time, where is the medicine? It's not available. All the stores are closed. But your brother or your friend for whom you feel that emotional power will make you do extraordinary efforts. That's what it says. So that you tap into emotional power. Then you tap into the power of Atman, that I want to do this. I want to, for the mankind, I want to do this. All these big leaders, the genuine one, like Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi, and they use the power of the soul. They did not use intellectual power. Intellectually, oh, stupid, the things that you can't do this. They say, no, it can be done. I will do it. So they have a strength of the soul, the will of steel. So that is where it comes, will of steel. That is the power of the soul. Or Bhagat Singh fighting with and giving whole life for freedom. Why? He used the power of his emotion for motherland, and power of the soul. And no matter how much he was tortured, he did not give up his goal till the last breath. So they tapped on those powers. Those are the things we are talking about. Next one is te samadha upsarga. Three words. Te means these, whatever the abilities, these things we described. The samadha means in the samadhi, upsarga means obstacle. These extraordinary abilities are really obstacles in your final goal of getting to samadhi and getting to kevalya. So they are to be avoided. The next one is the ability to take your mind into somebody else's body, very extraordinary power. So it says bandha karana sethilyat prachara samvedanat cha chittasya para sarira avesha. So long sutra. What binds the mind to the body? That bondage, sethilya, means when that bondage is relaxed, you can move your mind and enter in another body and be that person. So, bandha karana sethilyat means the bondage by which we stay in our own consciousness, in our own body. That sethilya means when that is relaxed or loosened up, that consciousness you can transfer to another person and understand another person. Example, this comes in the life of Shankaracharya ji. Shankaracharya ji, like we know, the great master, he was doing these uh, discussion and debates with a lot of people. So one time he was doing a debate with Vachaspati Misra, another big scholar, and his wife was also very smart scholar. No? I think Bharti something. So, and she was the judge to decide who is the winner. So, that lady, the wife of Vachaspati Misra, told Shankaracharya ji is that Acharya, you tell me what are the feelings of a married man and how he conducts his affairs. So Shankaracharya says, I am not a married man, so how do I know that what their feelings are and that? He says, and so he says that that means you lost it. You are not a all-knowing sannyasi. He says, no, lady, you wait. You give me 3 months. She says, okay, agreed. Shankaracharya ji, with his yogic power, entered somebody who died a young man recently and entered in that body and lived for 2 months, 3 months, and experienced what the married man feels, how he conducts his social life. And then he came back and he says, okay, now I know all these things. So at that level, this may be possible. So just read it about Shankaracharya and this one. It's interesting. I will also go in more in depth. I know superficially this much story. And the last one is Udana Jayat Jalapanka Kantaka. Udana Jayat Jalapanka Kantaka Adishu Asanga Utkranti. Very nice one. So the Udana means there are four kinds of Vayu or movements that physiological powers in us. Udana is a one which elevates, it's a lighter one. So Udana Jayat means that control on that power of Udana, one becomes lighter and can walk on water. Jala, Panka means swamp, Kantaka means thorns, Asanga means unattached, and he can voluntarily leave the body. When you have mastered that uh, component of our existence, Udan. So elevating power of prana upon Udan. No, so these one which moves all over the body as a gas, controlling that and mastering that, one can become lighter and elevate himself and can walk on water, on thorns, or on swamp, and knowingly, voluntarily can leave the body. So Udana Jayat Jala Panka Kantaka, so forth. Asanga means he is not in connection with that. Utkranti means he elevates himself and leaves the body at his will. So that is the yogic power number 40. So these are the various kinds of vibhutis, and the yogi can get and have those powers, and you have seen it. There are people who are shown that they can walk on fire, but really they are not touching the fire, or they can walk on water, but they are not touching the water, and they can walk on air and ascend up. So these are the things which are possible, and you see it from time to time. But we say, okay, no, it's like a magician, no, so he can walk, so walk. But these are powers that they can get. How many yogis are there? So, but real yogis like Vivekananda doesn't get involved with that. But he had all these powers himself. He knew when he's going to die. He left his body on his own, and and one time he was traveling here, and some college students were doing shooting in a pond, and they were trying to shoot at the different things, and they made a joke of Swami and says, Swami, this is not for you. What do you know? Just go and do om om om. He says, okay, let me try, my friend. And he never held a gun in his hand, and then he used and he shot the target. And they were so surprised that, how did you, Swami? How did you know? We are doing it for, we still know it. Okay, okay, go. So that is the power, yogic power. Okay, so if you have a question, you can ask. Very, very interesting and super conscious. So don't discard as no. So it's these stories, these are real. If you are interested, go more in depth of autobiography of yogis and all those great masters who have gone through these experiences.
Thank
Okay.
you, Dr. Chokshi. Any
Mm.
questions for Dr. Chokshi?
I just want little clarity on Sutra number 36 when you say it's about Sattva Purusha Yoga
Yeah.
and where you mention body, mind, and intellect. So we know that body, mind, intellect, as you say in that sequence, mind is superior than body and intellect is superior. And intellect is the one who just does the discriminate and tells you what is right and wrong. But where intellect only your mind or body will function only in the presence of consciousness, correct? That is Atman.
Yeah, presence of Atman, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
because
if
once
the
Atman leaves, all those equipments, your mind and everything is
they're
useless.
dead. Okay. So what we are trying to do is instead of coming from going and concentrating on BMI, you just concentrate on consciousness, which is your pure Atman, and
Mm.
understand the knowledge of Atman.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. That's
Yes,
what I
concentrating, using your faculties of mind, power
Mhm.
of mind is intellect to understand Atman.
Yeah. Because everything else beside Atman is Anatman.
Ah,
And that is a Prakruti. That's a
yeah.
creation of
So, so
God.
it really makes sense.
Yeah.
And distancing from intellect and body, it makes you a kind of immune. So you will become equanimity of mind because that's not happening to me. It's happening to something which I have temporarily, mind, body, and intellect. They are temporary. I don't care about it, and it is happening to that. I am not that. So that separation makes you pain free.
Dispassion. Yeah.
Makes you pain free, essentially pain free, no doubt about it, and makes you happy. Even if you are a school teacher, if you have this knowledge, you are the king. If you don't have this knowledge, you can be millionaire and still looking for little more, little more, little more.
Great. Yeah, going back to that story of Shankaracharya, I read about it. It's really beautiful. That and actually his wife, Mishra's wife, created this to defeat him because
Yes.
she could not see her husband losing it. And there was a garland of flowers in the both neck of those people, and it was really getting trembled. They was getting all darkened and all that. But then the story about to me was like the body he found was one of the king in a neighborhood. He dies somewhere in a jungle, and then he sees them and enters into his life of that king and goes back to the kingdom and lives the life of a sort of
Prince
a
versa. Yes. Yeah.
grahasti, and that's how he realized. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful story. You're right. I
Yeah.
read about it all day. It's in
I had
fantastic.
superficially read, so I did
No,
not
no, no.
know the
You are
details.
perfectly right on that. It
But
is,
but
and
but
the same thing came in my mind while you are even saying about that body. That
yeah.
how someone can enter into somebody's body, at what level. And Shankaracharya himself did this
Yeah.
to conclude that, and also in that time in that kingdom, it was this discussion goes on, and the one who loses has to take a jal samadhi. So he
Mm.
goes under the water.
Mm.
And so what there are a lot of people came before and they went into Jal Samadhi because this guy was a little bit arrogant though. Mishra was a little bit
Yeah.
arrogant,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know. But then they told, I think it tells in the story that those who took a Samadhi, they were also very learned, brave, enlightened people. So they were also at somewhere in some, heaven somewhere, and they
Mm.
brings them back at the end. That's what the story does.
Yeah. Yes.
It's
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It is. It is.
yeah.